right, welcome back everybody. Let's start drawing this room. So, let's start with the back wall and its placement in the frame. So, I'm just kind of looking at my thumbnail here and seeing how high I made that and how high I made the floor. And it's pretty high. Not quite halfway. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to grab my ruler. So I'm looking at half of the paper, and it wasn't quite half, but it was pretty high. The floor is what I'm talking about here. So let's see here if I can get that. And as we go along here, it is very important to keep this, keep everything grounded. And by that I mean like on the ground. Well, it probably doesn't go any further than that, so let's just stick with that. Okay, let me see how much room I've given myself on the side here. Okay. Is that enough space here? Again, just trying to get the back wall. Okay, now the side wall here. Okay, lining this up with the edge of the paper so I get something straight to work with. And let's see how that works for me. That might be too much space, but I want to make sure I have room. No, it's too much space. I want to make sure I have room for the bed. Okay, and then the ceiling. Now it's angled. The top is somewhere like there. Somewhere over here I need to create the first kind of place. And I don't need to really draw that line all the way across. I just don't need to because there's going to be a window there. I do need to continue this all the way up here, this line though that I didn't complete. And this first stage is just about getting everything in place. Getting the rough placement. If you can hear my cat, I think she wants to go outside. Okay, so let's get the next line here. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause and let my cat out because this meowing is not gonna stop. She is persistent. Okay, my ruler does not go all the way across. Grab a longer one. All right, let me make this line. She's not gonna let me do anything. Okay, then we'll make the angles in a second here. All right, and we're back. Check this line here. Okay. Okay, and then I need to determine where the cut goes. And for that, I am going to do some measuring here. So let's continue this line all the way up like I should have. Let's do it like this. Okay, and then I'll have to measure across and get the cut. But you know what? Before I do that, let's place our vanishing point. I'm looking at my thumbnail, and it's a little below where this window angles over to this side here. So I'll go ahead and place it somewhere around there. And let's at least get the corners of the room here. So this first corner here, I'm going to line it up to the vanishing point. I like to kind of touch it with both points here. Like put it there, move that, put that there. Especially with the lighting I'm using for this recording, because it totally messes with my ability to see the line here. Okay, I definitely need a longer straight edge for that. Okay. Okay, once again, I'm not looking for the corners of the paper. I wish I didn't have to say that, because I don't even want to get that in your head if it's not in your head, but I've had so many students do that wrong. I feel like I gotta say it. Okay. And that's looking pretty close to my thumbnail in terms of where it's cutting, which is great. In general, I've learned to trust my thumbnail more often than not. Not that you can't make improvements, because you always can, but trusting my thumbnail seems to be usually the right thing to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the cut here, and I have to decide kind of what angle I want. So I'm just going to kind of rough out the angle I want first. Be a little more. And then I'm going to measure it. So let's go up here. And I'm going to start at the 1. And it's about 2 centimeters. You can use inches. It doesn't really matter what you use. Centimeters, inches, doesn't matter. Okay. And then on this side here, I'm looking for 2 centimeters. Right there. There we go. And I like to erase kind of as I go because there's so many lines that end up being there. Now I can take this and go to the vanishing point, this corner. Okay, let's go over here. Again, turning my paper to do what's easiest. Okay, I've got a floor. I've got 2 walls. I've got the back wall. And I've got my ceiling, which has that angle going for it. All right, now I can kind of work within here. So really, really important that we keep everything on the ground, keep everything grounded, everything attached to something else as we're placing things, okay? And hopefully you see what I mean. So let's get the big things first. So let's get the room shape. And by that I mean let's extend the room out where the bed is. So I've got an angle here as well, and go straight down and in the bed. So a person, once again, this kind of is going to determine my size of my person in here. And I'm thinking the desk there. Person, I think this room's a little taller than my other one, but well, we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to work for me. So let's get the bottom here. So this is the kind of like the base that the bed sits on. Okay. And again, I'm drawing a box, a see-through box inside this wall. So now here, let's go ahead and determine how far from this wall this is. I'm just going to line this up. Does that work for me? I think it works for me. Okay, and then it goes at an angle. And I'm just going to kind of rough out my angle here. I think something like that's going to be fine. And I don't have the other side to even worry about because I can't see it. So that is that. Okay, now this is in perspective. So this angle should be thinner than this one. So I'm going to redraw that because it looks too similar, and that just creates a little bit of a confusion, I guess, a visual kind of confusion. So I'm going to make this a little taller, and then I'm going to draw it at a steeper angle because this wall is going away from me or towards me, however you want to think about it. And that would make this this angle to be the same as this. It would be thinner. But you know what? I kind of want it to be maybe the same, and the one or similar, at least in size. So here's one way I can do it. I can determine how big this is. Let's see here. So let me measure this. It's about 2. About 2 is fine. So if I go down here, this is on this plane here. So I'm going to measure 2. Okay, so it should be 2 centimeters and 2 centimeters. Right there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go from here, vanishing point. I'm going to line it up with the vanishing point. So it's going to be parallel with this. Parallel means at an angle because we're looking down at it slightly. Okay, so there's that. And that's almost exactly where my first rough drawing was. That's funny. Just kind of instinctually got it correct. Okay, and then again, this was 2 centimeters, I believe, as well, wasn't it? Somehow I was working, didn't even mean to, and I drew it pretty much evenly. That's funny. Okay, now I can't measure 2 centimeters this way because it just doesn't work in perspective, but I know it's going to be shorter than that. So I can at least, I guess I can measure 2 centimeters and make it shorter if that helps me at all. You're like, okay, I know it's got to be a shorter angle than that. So I'm going to try somewhere over there and go across like that. At least make it thinner. Okay, a lot of work for the same thing I kind of started with, which is kind of funny. Okay, so I've got the cut going in, and then this line is going to be straight out because this wall is facing me. It is not going away from me in 1 point perspective. Okay, and then I've got the bed here too. Okay, so I'm going to draw the mattress. And this thickness kind of matters because it, I mean, obviously, I guess mattresses can be different widths. And it's going to be sitting in a little bit or sticking out a little bit. I guess it could do either. Nah, I guess it would be in. Let's give it a little. Let's give it a little space here, so it's like fit well. So we'll draw one more line here to give it like the mattress. Like it's either sunken in or a plane to kind of sit on here. Okay, and then this mattress would go straight across. Okay, and I've got the back wall here, so I got to determine how thick the mattress will be. I'm just looking at my picture, and I got that looks about right. So I'm gonna kind of stick it around there. So now this line is going to the vanishing point. Okay. Yep. And then this square here is gonna go down. Now I can't see the back really. Now I could here, because that has to go across, straight across. It has to fit in here, this mattress, so it can be rounded a little bit and stuff, I can start shaping things. And then this line just has to be past that corner of the mattress because it has to fit, right? So there has to be room for it to fit. So it couldn't be like that or the mattress would be too big. So as long as I make it past it just a little bit, it'll look like it fits nicely. Okay, cool. Okay, then the back wall here. that has to go up. Now, I can see actually a little bit of the ceiling here. So let's get that line going across the inside of this box here. Very thin. So my eye line is almost even with that. Okay, then this is going to have to go up at an angle. And the angle isn't going to be quite as steep because it's further away. And let's see here. Do I want to take the time to measure it any more precisely? So let's see, this line would go straight up. That would be, if this was a straight box, like this big rectangle back here, that's where it would touch that corner. And then this line, okay, it's going straight, that's going straight. And how far would that be? Well, it's going to be further than whatever this is. And I think let's see what this is. This is just over 1 centimeter. So it's going to have to be further than that because of the angle. We'd see this at less of a steep angle than this wall because this wall is further from us than this plane right here. This is a plane back here, okay? Everything, these are all planes. A surface, a plane, and this plane here, this wall, is closer to us than this wall. So it's going to be a bit more. I'm just going to guess it. Now I can figure it out precisely. I don't know if I'm just not sure if I'm just trying to debate whether I want to confuse anybody. So let's see. Let me see how fast I can do it. I can go straight down from here. And I'm not going to make about a lot of lines. I'm just going to go straight down, hit that corner there. Again, I'm thinking of this as like a box, a three-dimensional box. And if this confuses you, just guesstimate it. And this is going to go straight across from here. Well, this just tells me something. Okay, this is going to go straight across from there. Then here's the problem, as I can't see this box here, so I actually have to draw my whole see-through box to be able to do this. So I'm going to draw it really lightly. And if I've lost, now I imagine a lot of beginners I might have lost already. But if you can hang with me, hang with me. Make sure those are parallel. Okay, so I'm drawing my see-through box. So this line is the box that we can't see because the mattress is in the way. So it's going to go down. I didn't complete this line here. Hit there. And this is going to go to the vanishing point. It's going to hit there. And that's going to give me the line at which it lines up with this, right? This line here, this corner, lines up down with this plane right here. And I went straight across from there. And now straight up from there, when it hits this line, is going to give me where the angle would be at. So, again, if that was too much, just hopefully you can catch on or watch it again and try and understand it. But that's the corner at where it would hit here. So I'll line it up with that. And that's the actual angle that it should be at. And all that see-through stuff can now go away. So hopefully that didn't confuse you. Again, if it did, I mean, my guess was actually pretty close. So if you kind of have a good understanding of how close things are in perspective and how the further things and the angles and how the steepness changes, you could probably guess it pretty good. But, you know, that's how to do it for reals. You can kind of see the remnants of the see-through box maybe. There we go. That's the exact angle. Okay, let's see what else we can kind of frame up here. Again, want to keep things at the same level. So let's kind of get some of the things in place. So this tells us how big the person is. Probably about that tall in the room. Okay, which means our desk should be somewhere around that high. So now to draw the desk, okay, I'm going to start with just a box. Start with a box in perspective. And I need to start with something connected to the back here. So this kind of forces me to draw a see-through box. And if you don't do this, if you don't start with part of this desk that is connected to the wall or touching the wall, you run the risk in the very likely scenario that you are going to make this thing floating in the air. And I've seen this a lot. So make sure. So I'm starting with the back of the desk. Okay, that may seem strange because that is not something that I'm going to see, but I need to make sure it is attached. The desk is attached to the floor. Okay. Okay, so there's the back of the desk. Now I have to determine how far out it goes. Maybe somewhere around there. And I have to think about it. It's going to come out even further. So maybe around here. So let's go straight down from there. Is that big enough? It comes out here. Maybe a little further. Okay, so again, this is the back, whoops, pencil fumble. So this is the back of the desk touching this back wall. Okay? So from there, I'm going to draw my box. So here's the corner coming towards me. Determine how far that surface goes. So I'm drawing the top now of this desk. So again, this hits the wall there. Okay. Let's go. Let's build this plane. Okay, so there's the top of my desk. Now this wall can go away. That back thing can go away. Now let's get the sides and where it would hit the floor. So here we go. So this back part of the desk here towards the vanishing point. This one we already have because we have the corner of the room. So from here, I can take this corner of the desk and go straight down, and that's where the desk would hit the floor in the front. Now all this keeps it grounded, all right, keeps it attached to the ground. If you start with the front, just place it, you run the great risk at just having it floating in the air or sitting in the wall or not on the floor. And I've seen that so many times, but you got to start with whatever is attached. Okay, so there's the side, and I don't really need to go across because the desk has a place for people's feet. I just want to see how close it lines up. Yeah, pretty much dead on. Pretty much, a little off there, but that's okay. Close enough. Okay, there's the basic framing of my desk. Now it's going to have some thickness to it, so I might as well get that right now. And you know what, let's just make it easy on ourselves and come up with a measurement that I can measure down here as well. So I'm going to go with 0.5 centimeter. So I could line it up over here. And I can use my ruler on this because this is a plane. This plane is not going away from me. Okay, that's pretty thick actually. I don't know if I wanted it that thick. That looks a little too thick. Let's make that thinner. I'm just going to draw it. No, I'm going to measure it. So let's go with 1, 2, 3. Just do that and see what comes out. That looks more what I want here. Okay, then I want that same thickness to go down here on the bottom. So I drew the line a little bit. I think I drew enough. Let's see. I'm going all the way upside down. Okay, let me try it. I gotta find a way I can measure this without my head getting in the way of the camera. Okay, and let's see here. I do remember I'm going to round out my desk, but I'm just trying to get these lines first. Okay, so I've got that. This is a little thinner here. I thought it looked a little thinner, my measurement. Again, really hard to work with giving space for the camera when I'm trying to see things. Usually I would like get my head a lot closer. Let's see if I can do it again. I'm just going to make it a little thicker. Okay, that looks closer. Okay, so now I can actually get rid of that line because the desk has some width to it, and it's actually going to be this line that we would see. So this is drawing a box within a box. And that's where it would go up now, up over there. Okay, so to round it out, I'm going to have to let me just rough it out, I guess. And then I can rough it out over here. Try and create the same shape as that. And you could get your ruler out once again and measure, but I'm just going to eyeball it, I think. Something like that. Okay, cool. And once again, that's going to change even this here. Because now I'm kind of thinking like the edge of a cylinder here. And I've got to determine where that would go like that. And provided I would see this, which I don't think I will, I would go like that. Okay, I got my desk, got my bed, door, window, and all that. I think that'll have to wait till the next video. All right, so there is my start. And yeah, hope you guys got a good start to this thing, and we'll continue it in the next one.